In severe cases of strep throat among kids in the U.S. Several children's hospitals across the country have reported an increase in strep cases since November, including in Colorado, where 2 children have died. The CDC has since issued an advisory warning of the surge of strep A among kids ages 5 through 15. For more on all this, I'm joined by Dr. Peter Hotez. He's the co-director of the Texas Children's Hospital Center for Vaccine Development and dean of the National School of Tropical Medicine at Baylor College of Medicine. It's great to have you here. And Dr. Hotez, the CDC investigating this strain of strep. What makes it so severe?
Well, the problem is it produces severe illness every year. Most parents know about it as a cause of strep throat, where pus appears on the tonsils, but it also can cause more invasive disease commonly, such as scarlet fever, what's called necrotizing fasciitis, toxic shock syndrome. And what the CDC is worried about is we're seeing an uptick in the number of those invasive streptococcal infections. It could also lead to rheumatic fever. And it's not only happening in the United States, it's also happening in Europe and Australia. So there's a concern that we're seeing a worldwide increase in this illness.
As we mentioned, at least 2 children in the U.S. have died. It's shocking to think that strep throat could be fatal. How do you characterize the risk?
Well, I think what the point is, we can treat it. The treatment is usually either oral amoxicillin or penicillin. We actually have an amoxicillin shortage right now. You can even get an intramuscular injection of what's called benzathine penicillin, even if you can't get amoxicillin. So the point is, these cases should be preventable with early diagnosis and treatment. Parents are not often aware of it, but if you see, in addition to your child struggling to swallow with high fever, that's a sign that there's severe strep throat that requires medical intervention. If you have a bright raised red rash all over the body, that's a sign. If you start seeing a cut or a bruise in your child and you start seeing streaking red rash around it, that's another tip-off.